The word avatar means one who descends, or more specifically, one who descends from the spiritual sky. In the spiritual sky, there are innumerable Vaikuntha planets, and from these planets the expansions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead come into this universe. In the Bhagavad-gita, Lord Krishna says,
Yada yada hi dharmasya glanirbhavati bharata abhyutthanam adharmasya tadatmanam srijamyaham.
Whenever and wherever there is a decline of religious practice, O descendant of Bharata, and a predominant rise of irreligion, at that time I descend myself. Lord Krishna generally appears on a particular schedule at the end of Dvapar Yuga of the 28th millennium of the 8th Manu in one day of Brahma. The principles of religion are the direct orders of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The Lord therefore appears by His own will whenever there is a predominance of irreligiosity and a disappearance of true religion. Sometimes He descends personally and sometimes He sends His bona fide representative, Vishnu Tattwa. The Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, along with His plenary expansions, Swamsha, are in the category of Vishnu Tattva. The Vishnu Tattva entities are the controllers and the Jiva Tattva entities are the controlled. All the universes in the material world come from the first Purush avatar, Mahavishnu. But even Mahavishnu is just a portion of Lord Sri Krishna, who eternally resides in His own abode, Goloka Vrindavan. Although Krishna is the supreme controller and owner of everything, He never directly controls anything. He delegates all activities to His agents and simply enjoys in His supreme abode. The Vishnu Incarnation, although master of the mode of goodness within each universe, is no way in touch with material nature. He is completely transcendental. Although Vishnu is equal to Krishna, Krishna is the original source. Vishnu is a part, but Krishna is the whole. In Brahma Samhita, the example is given of one candle which lights a second candle. Although both candles are equally bright, one is accepted as the original and the other is said to be kindled from the original. The Vishnu expansion is like the second candle. He is as powerful as Krishna, but the original Vishnu is Krishna. All the expansions of Krishna, like Vishnu, Ram, Narsimha, Varaha, Matsya, are in the category of Vishnu Tattva. It is also stated in the Brahma Samhita, I worship Govinda, the primeval Lord, who manifested Himself personally as Krishna and the different avatars in the world in the forms of Ram, Narsimha, Vamana, etc. as His subjective portions.
10 principal incarnations. The Lord actually has unlimited incarnations, but these are considered the 10 principles incarnation. So one of these, the first incarnation is Matsya, or a fish incarnation. it is explained that this fish incarnation came to rescue a great king and devotee of the Lord as Mastya. And in this way, there was a boat. The story was a similar story, a story of a boat, but the boat was tied to the fish, which is the Lord, as this Mastya, as a fish incarnation. And in this way, he was rescued this great king, Satyavrata, and all the pairs of animals until the flood was over, the flood of the world. So then we have the Turkish Incarnation. The Turkish Incarnation, Kurma. At this time, there was a negotiation between the demigods and the demons and the Lord. So they had to churn this a great mountain in the heavenly planet by the name of the Mandara mountain. So they had to have a place for this mountain to rest on. Just like in the old days when they're making dahi or yogurt, it's a churning process. So in the same way, this mountain, this tortoise, Kurma, was the resting place of this Mandara mountain, and the Vasuki snake became the rope. And in this way, the Asuras and the demigods, or the demons and the demigods, they were pulling and churning this mountain in order to get the Amrit. This Amrit, it says, to anyone who drink it will have immortal life. So in this way, this Kurma incarnation of the Lord was there for the churning. And then we have the Boar Incarnation, Varaha. Boar Incarnation, the Lord came as a boar because at that time the planet was completely submerged in the ocean of Garbhadak ocean. So the Lord came as a boar and rescued the earth by lifting it up out of this ocean. Then we have the incarnation of Nrsingadev. As Nrsingadev, the Lord appeared from a pillar because of his great devotee Prahlad Maharaj, who was being tormented by his father simply because he was a devotee. So the Nrsinga incarnation, the Lord is half lion and half man. And then we have the Vamana incarnation, dwarf. This incarnation took place in the heavenly planet because the managerial heads of the universe in the heavenly planets, they all lost their kingdoms, their planets, by one Asura, Bali. Bali, who was very charitable to Brahmins at the time and begged charity. So he asked Bali asked him, what do you want? So he says that I want 3 steps of land, enough land that I can make 3 steps. So Bali, being such a powerful controller and having all this in his possession, considered it to be very foolish for, first of all, a dwarf, as we know, is a very small person, and then only wanting 3 steps of land. But anyhow, Bali finally gave in and gave him, and in this way, the Lord expanded himself beyond all the planets and beyond the universe with only 2 steps, and told Bali that, well, you give me 2, I have only made 2 steps, and you promised me 3 steps. So Bali Maharaj says, well, you can put your feet on my head as the 3rd step. So in this way, Bali fully surrendered to the Lord. And then we have the incarnation that is called Parsuram. Parsuram is explained that in the past ages that the Kshatriyas, they were not behaving properly. So the Lord as Parsuram declared war against these Kshatriyas. So 21 times Parsuram defeated the Kshatriyas as a lone warrior. He fight with an axe. And then we have the incarnation that is called Lord Ramachandra. So Lord Ramachandra killed Ravan because this demon had kidnapped his wife Sita Devi. And then there is the incarnation, this is Krishna. So Krishna came over 5,000 years ago, and he killed this mainly many demons, but mainly this Kamsa. And then we have Lord Buddha, one other incarnation of Vishnu, who came about 2,000 years ago, and in his event, then he came to establish the principle of ahimsa, non-violence. And then we have the last incarnation that is called Kalki. Kalki is an incarnation of the Lord that will come in the future. And in this incarnation, at the end of this age of Kali, when people will be so disturbed and misguided, he will come and slay all the leaders. Riding on a white horse, he will slay all the leaders. So these are the 10 incarnations.
In the Vedas also, it is said that the Lord, although one without a second, manifests himself in innumerable forms. He is like the Vaidurya stone, which changes color yet remains one. Brahma and Lord Shiva are obedient servants of the Supreme Lord, and the Supreme Lord as Vishnu is an expansion of Krishna.